All right, fam, bam. What's going on, man? Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know what it is, man. We here for Charlo versus Derevyanchenko immediate reaction. I'm still in the 12th round. I got like about a minute to go for those who might be ahead of me, man. I got about a minute to go. You know what I'm saying? In the 12th, I got Jermall Charlo up. I got him up about 11 rounds. I got him up 11 but right now 10 rounds to 1. The Sergiy Derevyanchenko pressing the action in the 12th round, man. Both men tied. Sergiy Derevyanchenko all marked up, face looking like a Halloween mask. Look at him, he digging though. Look like he got Charlo a little tired and maybe a little hurt. Oh no, he just a little tired, a little winded. They both swinging it out. He got Charlo up against the ropes. 26 seconds left. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. I mean, I know y'all might be ahead of me, fam. I got 16 seconds left in the 12th round. Keep going. It's like about to be over. I got Charlo up though, man. Well up in this fight. Sergiy Derevyanchenko definitely needs a stoppage. Oh, piecing up Charlo. Oh, piecing him up down the stretch. Oh, man. End of that fight came just in time. Just in time. Media software say boring fight. What's up, man? Albert Martinez. What's up, fam? They both gassed. Yeah, they both tied out, man. They both tied out, man. Snooze fight, say media so. Snooze fight, fam. You ain't enjoy the fight. Hey, man, it picked up for me, man. I got Jermall Charlo dominating this fight, man. 11 rounds to 1. I mean, well, if you want to get Sergiy Derevyanchenko that 12th, I'd say 10 rounds to 2. But it was a domination for me for the most part by Jermall Charlo. Good performance by Jermall Charlo, man. I liked the performance by Jermall. I thought he put in a very good performance. Sergiy Derevyanchenko got away from the game plan. I gave him 1 round, and the 1 round that I gave him was the 6th round. Sergiy got away from the game plan, Joe. I mean, Jermall Charlo had a piston. I mean, a piston-like jab. That joint was like a jackhammer, man. Hey, Slim, he was popping Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Whenever Sergiy Derevyanchenko fought within that comfortable range for Jermall Charlo, it was jab central all night long. You know what I mean? The first 3 rounds, Jermall Charlo didn't even throw a right hand. We're going to get some interviews. Looking at the stats, Jermall Charlo, 85 of 299 in the jabs, 134 of 328 in power shots, 219 of 627 total, 17 of 174 in jabs for Derevyanchenko, 163 of 507 in power shots, and 180 of 681 in total punches for Sergiy Derevyanchenko. I'm going to tell y'all straight like this, man. Jermall Charlo in the first 3 rounds barely even threw a right hand. Popping Sergiy Derevyanchenko with that jab. Sergiy was having problems on getting around the jab. I mean, fighting within that comfortable distance, pow, just popping him with that jab, standing in that comfortable range. And we know Charlo got that powerful ass jab. And that jab, he pretty much rearranged Sergiy Derevyanchenko's face tonight with the jab, champ, with the jab. Albert Martinez says he got 10-2 Charlo. Okay, yeah, that's about right. David says, man, yeah, I like that jab, man. That jab's something serious, bro. That jab was something serious. First 3 rounds, man. First 3 rounds, like I said, man, Charlo was cruising with the jab. Then he hurt Sergiy Derevyanchenko in that 3rd round, man. Big shot. Sergiy Derevyanchenko was having problems getting around it all night long. All night long. Look at that. I mean, he hurt Sergiy Derevyanchenko with an uppercut, man. Oh, my gosh. That was so vicious. All night long, I mean, Sergiy Derevyanchenko was having problems getting around the jab. And I thought he had 2 ways to get around Charlo's jab. 2 ways. And the 2 ways that he was having success was when he stepped right to the outside of the jab and then rolled it back in. And then he'd get in there and throw those 2 3-piece combinations. And then he was having some success. And then in the 6th round, he started going down to the body. Major success. The very next round in the 7th round, totally abandoned the body work, started head hunting. And I was like, what the hell is he doing? But anyway, the second best way he was making it to the inside was that he was being first. We got Jimmy Leonard Jr. right here. Hold on, fam.
Judge ringside, Tim Cheatham scores about 116 to 112. Steve Weisfeld scores at 117 to 111. And David Sutherland sees the action at 118 to 110. All 3 in favor of the winner. And still, the WBC middleweight champion of the world.
Jermall Charlo retains his WBC title tonight, man. But like I was saying, man, I mean, Sergiy Derevyanchenko, he had 2 ways to get to the inside. He was stepping on the outside of the jab and then riding it back in, or he was being first. Whenever he was being first, getting into the inside, letting his hands fly, he was the faster puncher on the inside. He started realizing that after like round 6. He was the faster man on the inside. But the problem was he abandoned the body work. When he was going to the inside, going downstairs on Charlo in the 6th round, about the 6th round, he started to hurt Charlo. I think he hurt Charlo in like round 8, because in round 7, he took off the body work. Then round 8, he went back to it, hurt Charlo again. That is until Charlo hurt him towards the end of the 8th round, man, with a big right hand that pretty much won the round back for Charlo, man. Man, it started to pick up in action like about the 5th round, I want to say, man. Yeah, Charlo caught him, man, with an overhand. Oh, man, overhand right, then came back with a left uppercut that buzzed the hell out of Sergiy Derevyanchenko early in the fight, man. Buzzed the hell out of him, man. Buzzed the hell out of him. Zeno, what's up, man? Big Tony say he got 9-3 Charlo. I hear that. I hear that. We need a rematch, man. What a great fight. Nah, man, no rematch needed tonight, bro. No rematch needed, man. Charlo's jab won the fight tonight, man. He stayed consistent for what he wanted to do on the game plan, and that was fight at his comfortable range using the jab. And whenever Derevyanchenko try to make it to the inside, hit him with that check left hook or hit him with that big uppercut. That was all Charlo was trying to do, champ. Hey, it was working. And he started to, man, he was busting Sergiy Derevyanchenko all the way up. My man had swollen eyes closed, man. I mean, that jab was just, it's like a piston, Joe. It's like a piston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Equal Foundation say, yo, man, Charlo was also being safe because Dev was still dangerous. Yeah, he played it safe down the stretch. Derevyanchenko was the faster puncher on the inside, bro. Whenever Sergiy Derevyanchenko got around Charlo's jab, made it to the inside, he was doing some good stuff. The problem was Charlo was just too big of a puncher. And whenever Charlo would just clock him with a good hook, or hit him with one of them big uppercuts on take that step back, boom, hit him with that big uppercut. It was slowing Derevyanchenko down. I mean, he just couldn't keep that pace up consistently. Then towards the end of the fight, he didn't know when to step in. He didn't know when to step in. He just was like, man, if I step in, I'm gonna have to eat that jab, or I gotta watch out for that check left hook. All because he stopped going to the body. If he'd have kept getting on the inside, man, pinning Charlo up against the ropes, staying downstairs, bro, that's where he was way successful. He got totally away from it. I heard his coach, Andre Rozier in the corner telling him, like, bro, stop headhunting. Why are you headhunting, man? When you get in there, stay going downstairs. But he totally abandoned it. Man, Charlo started letting them hands, man, them uppercuts and them check left hooks fly on the inside. Man, I gave Charlo pretty much every round except the 6th and the 12th. You know what I'm saying? The 6th and the 12th. We talk about it throughout the fight. Yeah, man. Will McLaddy in the building. What's up, man? What it do, fam? Bam? Be more in the building. What's going on with you, man? What's going on with you, man? I'm gonna say this though, fam. I'm gonna say this. Now, what's next for Charlo? Charlo, more than likely, from what we've been hearing, more than likely gonna be heading towards Chris Eubank Jr. They saying, Chris Eubank Jr. has been talking a lot about Charlo. We know that they was trying to set that up, prior to this anyway. Chris Eubank Jr. was going to face Matt Korobov in his last fight. They fought, but Korobov got injured in that fight, so we didn't get a good look at Chris Eubank Jr. down at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like all roads is pointing to it's going to be a Charlo versus Chris Eubank Jr. I'm expecting big fireworks in that fight. That's going to be a straight slug 'em type fight right there. We know Chris Eubank very little on skills, no matter who coaches him. I don't care what nobody say. But it's going to come down to a slugfest between them two. So that's going to be an exciting fight that I think they're going to plan on next for Charlo. But as for Charlo, man, versus Canelo, how does Charlo versus Canelo look to y'all? Knowing that but the thing I noticed with Charlo, like he throws that big jab, but he's not leading off with no three-piece combinations. It's either that jab or he's throwing that check hook. Man, when Canelo gets around something, his head movement is solid, and he likes to throw combinations on the inside. Downstairs, bro, that's going to be a problem for Charlo. And I noticed this whenever Sergiy Derevyanchenko was getting in there, when he was taking that step back and then getting back inside or doubling up the jab to get to the inside after that, he was having success and then going downstairs. Bro, that's Canelo all day. Bro, that's something that Charlo will have to tighten up, man, if you want to go into a Canelo fight. I'm telling y'all, man. Real spill. Real spill, man. Wayne Jr. say, man, Maul beat that boy ass all day. Beat him easy work. You know what I'm saying? I gave it 10 rounds to 2 for Jermall Charlo. I don't know what Steve Farhood was talking about, man, earlier on, giving him the second round. I ain't see it, bro. I seen Charlo cruising in the first 3 rounds behind just the jab. He barely let the right hand go in the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean? Let's get a little bit of this interview, man, they be doing with Custom.
I want to thank everybody who's still behind me. Keith Nelson, Steve Chamba. I got to thank all my boys, man. I'm sorry.
No, that's
Brother Lawrence, I love you.
What you think about your performance?
All right, so about my fight, I made my team proud. I did what I was supposed to do. I went in there and I executed the game.
He did what he was supposed to do. He dominated. They talking about this the biggest test. This ain't the biggest test.
I know you wanted a knockout. Yeah. Every fighter does, especially when you're on pay-per-view. This guy was tough, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Was he tougher than you thought he was going to be?
Nah, I knew he was going to be tough. I knew he was going to come to fight. I just didn't know how. I didn't know when. I didn't know when he was going to try to turn it up. But then it never felt like, I let him turn it up.
All day.
Being in the bubble or any of the controversial losses that we're taking as black people get to my head, and I just fought through it. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to continue to fight. Don't let no negative interruption possible.
Hey, man, I hope he say something, but they got to bring up either Canelo or Chris Eubank Jr. was next, man. Let's see what's next, man.
Throughout, I thought you buckled him in the third round.
Buckled him in the third all day. Definitely buckled him in the eighth, but Charlo got hurt in the eighth itself, man. And that was because Derevyanchenko went back downstairs. But he stayed composed. Definitely was composed.
I did want to knock him out. I wanted to knock him out, make a statement. But getting the victory, shutting him out, that was a statement.
He made a big statement tonight.
That's what I wanted to get into, because so what did you think you sent message did you send to the middleweight division? Because there's a number of Chris Eubanks Jr. said
name's gonna come up. Bro, we want to hear right here.
The bigger fights are out there. As you see, I'm stepping up with competition. I'm steady growing. I'm steady learning. I let my team get to it. They make the best decisions. Well taken care of. Man, my brother next. So that's on my mind right now. I'm ready to see.
All right, well, he ain't gonna call nobody out, fam. He ain't gonna say no names, man. But at the end of the day, we know the fight that we definitely want to see. For those who don't know, Jermall Charlo is the WBC champion. Man, Canelo Alvarez, WBC franchise champion, whatever that means. You know what I mean? This fight needs to happen. You did. Hey, they want a big fight for Canelo. They want to do something big. It's right here. Jermall Charlo. Man, that fight will be humongous, explosive. But I'm telling you, man, stylistically, man, I think that Jermall need to tighten up on some things before we talk Canelo. I would love to see a Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade, man. We heard them talking about that earlier, man, in the year or sometime last year where offers was being sent between Eddie Hearn and Charlo and all this, but it all went south because neither man wanted to come on each other's network, man. We need something big for Jermall Charlo, but the thing that politically makes sense, unfortunately, is Chris Eubank Jr. We know he's down with PBC now. He came back down to middleweight. They was grooming that fight to be happening. They on a collision course anyway. So, Charlo Nation, y'all already know what it is. Bring on Chris Eubank Jr., man. But I'm telling you, man, I see some of y'all out there saying that, Canelo gonna struggle with that jab on top of that. He gasses down the stretch. Now, if it's gonna come down to an athleticism thing, I still think that Charlo is a much more athletic fighter than Canelo Alvarez. I think also Charlo comes in tip-top shape pretty much every single fight. Canelo still does show signs of gassing, man. And all of that work that he likes to do early with that upper body movement and those combinations he throw, it does affect them going down the stretch of fights. That's how Gennady Golovkin was able to stay into those fights, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Charlo will shine, you know what I mean? But I still think that early on, that Canelo will find his way to the inside with Charlo, and I think Canelo will let go combinations, and I love to see how Charlo will deal with that. You know what I mean? Real spill. But as for Chris Eubank Jr., man, I'm favoring Charlo all day. Charlo all day. You know what I'm saying? Charlo all day over Chris Eubank Jr. Come on, man. Great. Chris Eubank Jr. gonna come in that joint, gonna try to hit the man with low blows. He might try to bite Charlo. Chris Eubank Jr. is weak mentally. After seeing him what he did to George Groves and other fighters, it doesn't matter who coaches Chris Eubank Jr. He can go to Roy Jones, you know what I'm saying? He can go to anybody, dog. It doesn't matter. His skill set is too limited. He is what he is. You know what I mean? And he's going to go in there and try to get into a slugfest with Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo going to knock him all the way out. You know what I mean? That's how that fight gonna play out. And knowing that these are the two styles of these fighters, shit, that's explosive, Slim. That's explosive. I like to see it because I know Charlo gonna end up knocking Chris Eubank out. If Charlo want to make a statement around middleweight, knock Chris Eubank ass out. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that, man. All day, man, all day, all day. You know what I mean? Yeah, George, Charlo already fought, man. It's over with, bro. It's over with. Charlo dominated this man. You're going to see I gave it 10 rounds to 2 for Jermall Charlo. He hurt Sergiy Derevyanchenko at points through the fight. Sergiy Derevyanchenko hurt Charlo in the 8th. Charlo hurt Derevyanchenko in the 3rd and in the 8th. And pretty much a domination by Jermall Charlo, man. All day, all day. Xeno say, man, Eubank going to get roasted by Nassim Hamed again if he fights Charlo, man. Hey, if he fights Charlo, I'm telling you, they're going to groom him for that, man. It's just the only thing that right now that makes sense politically. That's another thing that they can probably do. I don't know if they want to throw that on no pay-per-view or whatever the case may be, and I don't know how much UK support that Chris Eubank really going to bring, but I know his daddy is popular. I know his name is definitely known out there in the UK, and you know, but just the fact of the matter is Chris Eubank is fell short so many times in his career at this point, man, and I just don't see him getting no better. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. Since the Billy Joe Saunders ass whooping, since the George Groves ass whooping, I don't see him getting no better. And I see Charlo stopping him, champ. Straight up stopping him. And he's an arrogant little dude anyway. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's as arrogant as his daddy, but yo, Chris Eubank Jr., arrogant little dude, just give off that arrogant little vibe. You know what I mean? So seeing Charlo stop Chris Eubank Jr., that shit would be an honor and a pleasure, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Especially after what he did, man. Hey, dog, I never cared for that dude after what he did to George Groves. And y'all all remember what I'm talking about. And that's that man turning it into an airplane and trying to headbutt George, man, knock the man out, head onto him. I hope we try do something like that with Charlo, man. And Charlo club a lane with Hulk Hogan his ass and throw his ass right out the ring or something, man. Not a fan of Chris Eubank Jr., if y'all can't tell. And I want to see Charlo knock his ass all the way out. You know what I'm saying? What about the other brother? Has he fought yet? Nah, we about to get ready for Mel's fight, man. I don't want to hold y'all too long on this, man. Just know that Jermall Charlo tonight dominated this fight tonight with his jab, piston-like jab. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. He fought comfortably within his range. He kept Sergiy Derevyanchenko in his range, in his neighborhood. Sergiy Derevyanchenko had problems making it to the inside, but when he was doing it, he had some successes because he was the faster fighter on the inside. The problem was that when Sergiy Derevyanchenko had success on the inside, it was mostly downstairs, which he abandoned. Charlo stayed true to his game plan. He stayed composed. He stayed patient. He stayed within range, popping him with the jab, looking to take that step back, hit him with the uppercut or hit him with the check left hook, man. He hurt Sergiy Derevyanchenko several times through this fight, turned him into a Halloween costume, you know what I'm saying, with just the jab. And pretty much it was a solid performance by Jermall Charlo, and he will retain his title. I hope he get the big fights, man. We rooting for Jermall Charlo. We want to see him against Canelo. We want to see him against Demetrius Andrade. You know, Andrade and Charlo, man. That'll be another interesting fight, man. Andrade and Charlo, woo! That'll be a great fight because Andrade is another fighter that has a good jab. He has a long jab. It'll be a good early chess match between them two, the battle of the jabs. You have a piston-like jab from Charlo, and you got a long, pretty much fast jab from Andrade. You know what I mean? Man, that'd be interesting, man. I can see Charlo having to hunt Andrade down. Charlo being the aggressor in the Andrade fight. Andrade being a guy that want to box on the outside, you know, want to razzle and dazzle, like he likes to do sometimes. Man, that'd be a great matchup, bro. That'd be a great matchup. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a great matchup. But you see, man, with the politics of boxing, man, and the polished shit of boxing, these two fights should happen. These two fighters should be out here fighting. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Renee? What's going on, fam, bam? This fight should be happening. That fight should be happening. But like even what we're witnessing in the Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney situation, where you see how networks can't let fighters go to each other's side of the street without wanting to put options and small print and contracts. I mean, if Charlo was to walk over to DAZN, it's just no way that they feel confident that, hey, DAZN ain't going to let me come back on over to PBC, and vice versa. If Demetrius Andrade want to come to PBC, which they said that they will do, he don't feel confident they're going to let him probably walk back over. It's just all a bunch of polished shits that hurting the sport of boxing. And that's why fights like that ain't being made. But as for Canelo Alvarez, he's just being protected from Charlo. Don't make no misunderstandings about it. It ain't Canelo Alvarez. If he wanted the Charlo fight, he can get the Charlo fight. He's actually being protected. There's a difference between what Canelo is doing and what Andrade is doing. Andrade has politics against him, unfortunately. But Canelo, no, he's just straight up being protected. You know what I mean? And he just don't want to go near and act like Charlo doesn't even exist. You feel me? You know, that would have been something to see Canelo stand up and come right out and say, you know what? Bring on Charlo. Man, that'd be some stand-up G shit for Canelo. And say, y'all approve him as a premium opponent? You want to approve my fights, DAZN? Give me Charlo. Make sure Charlo make it over here. Man, that'd be lit. That'd be lit. But that'd be great, man. But I'm going to get ready for this main event, man. I'm going to get ready for this main event. Zeno says I had it 115, 114. I had a bunch of even rounds at Renee Boxung. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Sergey did some good stuff on the inside, but he would, to me, lose the rounds because he would start getting too complacent within Charlo's range. Like he starts standing there and get cemented feet and stand right on the end of Charlo's jab and just start getting popped with it. And then he would make his move. But early on in the fight, man, he was stepping right to the outside of the jab and then riding it back in, getting to the inside. Man, he was, and then whenever he would just try to take the step forward and do the traditional way of making it to the inside is when he was getting busted up. He was eating the jab, he was eating too many shots, just stepping forward, trying to use his head movement to get around it. No, when he stepped to the outside and then rode it in, or whenever he was first doubling up his jab, is when he was successful. He just hung out too much in Charlo's neighborhood, right within his range. You know what I'm saying? Right within his range. And that was his problem. And then he abandoned the body work. You know what I mean? Just stupid performance. You know what I'm saying? Just he got off the game plan. Got to stick to the game plan. Got to stick to the game plan. Muhammad Ali says, yo, Charlo could have made it more of a clinic. He did a good job. First 3 rounds, he barely even threw a power shot. You know what I mean? First 3 rounds, he just kind of was toying with him with the jab. You know what I'm saying? He barely even threw a power shot. So I thought he did. I thought he checked every box aside from stopping Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Sergiy Derevyanchenko has never been stopped, man. So for Charlo to dominate him tonight, I still think, I still feel the statement. The dominating performance tonight is a great statement made by Charlo, I think, on Sergiy Derevyanchenko. He beat him much more cleaner than Gennady Golovkin. He beat him much more cleaner than Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs and Gennady Golovkin didn't have much separation between them and Derevyanchenko. Charlo tonight made it definitive. You know what I'm saying? He made it definite and definitive. You dig? So at the end of the day, if y'all want to talk about statements, that's the statement right there. He surpassed the performance of Gennady Golovkin and Daniel Jacobs. That's a statement if I ever seen one. You know what I'm saying? All day. It was a great performance by Jermall Charlo. He is a true champion, WBC champion. He has the real belt. I repeat, the real belt. Not the franchise fraud belt, but he has the real belt. He actually has a mandatory, unlike Canelo Alvarez, a man with no mandatories. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the dream fight right there. Boxing knows it. The boxing powers that be know that we will pay good money for Charlo versus Canelo all day. The market is there. You got Texas. Bro, Canelo in Texas, Charlo in Texas. Man, that's off the hook. That's off the hook. That's doing major pay-per-view buys. And most importantly, that's getting all kinds of eyes and ears. The fight makes perfect sense. Charlo and Canelo in Texas, right there, in Cowboys, at AT&T, at Jury's World, whatever. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Yo, it just makes sense, man. Boxing got to give us that fight. Boxing got to give us that fight. And see, I always tell people, man, Canelo, what hurts his pound-for-pound arguments is the fact that he does not fight the Charlos of the world, and he likes to fight certain individuals at catch weights and, you know, coming off fights. I mean, barely having a training camp. That stuff affects his pound-for-pound rankings for me. Fight Charlo. He is the man. He is looking like the champion. I mean, it is what it is, man. But, yo, man, I'm going to catch up with y'all after Jermall Charlo's fight, man. We're going to be right back here for an immediate reaction, man. I'm going to get ready for this fight, man. I know it should be coming on soon. I see they getting all the little filler stuff out the way, so I'm out to get prepared for that, man. I'm going to catch up with y'all after that fight. Y'all come on back through, man. Real spill, man. Jermall Charlo dominates Sergiy Derevyanchenko, man. Tonight, I gave it to him 10 rounds to 2 all day, and still the WBC middleweight champion. He will go forward. I catch up with y'all real soon. Thumbs up for the fam. Thumbs up for the fam. Thumbs up for the fam on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. And until the next one, much love. Peace out.